Why, hello there. This is Gaming Jason, and welcome to Bungles After Dark. In this week's episode, I will be joined, like always, by the wonderful and sexy Gaming Greg.
Sexy? That's not creepy at all. But I
It's okay.
appreciate it.
No problem.
Sort of, I think.
I'm working on the soothing nighttime voice.
Yeah, I think maybe it's just being more excited. Some people might be falling asleep. They don't want to be lulled to sleep. They want to be excited about whatever the hell it is we're talking about, whatever miniature game it is, or in this case, we're talking Bushido tonight, and we're talking themes.
This is true.
Woo! See?
All right. We got that hype energy up here, but what we need really here is a Grandmaster of hype. So we also are happen to be joined today by Grandmaster Cody, Hype Master.
Oh my gosh, you've been spinning around.
Dang. For those of you on YouTube, you just had a nice surprise.
Gonna have to get what was that dramatic?
Dramatic entrance. This is almost like Iron Chef.
Was it dramatic groundhog, dramatic hedgehog, whatever?
Oh, the dramatic prairie dog.
Oh,
yeah,
yes.
dramatic prairie dog. That's
do.
Yep.
That's you spinning around. I'll have to see if I get. We'll see if I get to add that or not to my collection of sound clips. Yeah, so we got the gang all back for another rousing evening talk of themes to delight and or anger the Bushido crowd, because we're going to talk Bushido themes and Bushido lists and all that kind of stuff. Excited to do that. So tonight's lineup, we don't got a whole bunch of. Has anything really ever? I think everything's kind of calm right now in the gaming world. Comic-Con had all their fun stuff.
I was gonna say the only thing I've seen is like the previews for Comic-Con and Phase 5 for Marvel. So that's as much as I've seen.
And I'll be honest, I didn't pay attention to any of that crap.
I watched a 2-minute clip on YouTube, and that's all I needed.
I didn't watch
anything.
I miss the old days where we would when Gaming Jason was just a wee lad and his brother would be there, and we'd wake up on a Sunday morning and watch the recap on G4 of everything that was Comic-Con.
Oh yeah, or E3 actually. That was a big one.
Well, E3 too. Well, E3 was kind of cool, but we catch up on all the G4 stuff, but not G4. G4 would catch us up on everything Comic-Con, but it's not happening. I'm sure G4 exists, but
they do as a YouTube channel now.
I'm old and I've moved on, and so I don't catch it all. But it's kind of interesting to see that some stuff's coming out. I still haven't seen Thor: Love and Thunder.
Me either.
You either? How about you, Gaming Jason?
No, I'm waiting for that to come to Disney Plus, like I did for Multiverse at this point.
Gotcha. All right, so there's that. So basically, from my standpoint, the gaming world seems to be a bit on taking a deep breath and holding it until next week. Right? Next week is Gen Con.
Next week's Gen Con, yeah. That's the big thing. Yeah, next week's Gen Con because it's the first week in August.
And I will have my secret shopper slaves. Wow, that is really not easy to say. My secret shoppers will be hitting the GCT booth, potentially the Drowned Earth or All Games booth, if they even have a booth. I don't think they will.
If they do, hopefully they have all the cards.
Yeah, the TT Combat booth. I know. I want to pick up some stuff from there. As my pile of shame
needs to grow again.
Apparently, I haven't. I'll be honest, I haven't painted in the last 2 weeks. I'm gonna hopefully be back on the painting train here. And we already know Grandmaster Cody has painted another 100, 200 miniatures in a week or something like that.
Something like that. Getting there.
Something like that. Yeah, whatever. But at least you paint. I have not. So.
It's better than me. Let's all face it. This is way better than me. Eventually, I'll figure out if I want to paint.
You probably should paint, Chase.
I know. I know. I need to.
I will say the new contrasts are a lot of fun.
I've got 3 new colors of contrast. What colors of contrast did I pick up? I got the Hexwraith Flame.
That sounds
I got
cool.
that one. Yep.
Dude, you have all of them.
No, I missed a couple that I need to go pick up.
Oh, okay.
I got one of the new purples. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to trying this one. The Luxion Purple.
Is that the one I used today? Yes. So that one over a silver base
Mm-hmm.
is, I don't know if it'll pop up on here. I was messing around with the Sister of Battle, and
Ooh, that looks kind of cool.
that's just over a silver.
Okay, so it does a nice job, like making it like a metallic silver.
Now,
Yeah.
I will say I'm really looking forward to trying out the Dark Oath Flesh. Because Guillemot Flesh was always my go-to, but as the pot got to the bottom, hey, important painting tip, when you start to get to the bottom of a paint and it's getting dry out, it kind of sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
that
there
would
was
happen.
that. So I switched to. I started switching. That's the Guillemot. I started switching to the Fire Slayer, and I was starting to learn how to put the Fire Slayer down nice, and that was giving me a nice flesh tone finally. Before I was putting on too thin, it was not good. So when I saw the shades of this new Dark Oath Flesh, I'm kind of excited because it looks really pale. So I'm looking forward to that. Have you done any of the new flushes, Cody?
No, but I have messed around with Rattling Grime quite a bit.
Is that what is it? Is it gray or black?
It's more of a gray. I don't know if you can really tell on him, but that's his cloak.
Okay.
So I kind of like that. I was trying to see what that looked like.
For those of you who are now totally mesmerized and falling asleep on
yeah.
on the podcast,
On the audio version,
the
audio
version,
only.
you know, we'll I don't know if Jason's gonna be able to put a link or something so we could show the Instagram page for Cody. Maybe Cody will throw up some works in progress up there.
Yeah, maybe.
Or maybe we'll put it on the Facebook page. Who knows?
I don't know if you can't tell with the lighting.
Yeah.
The Gargax sewer is a very nice like wood tone, but I'm going to try it with maybe like a light purple base coat and then put that over for maybe some like African American flesh tones.
That'll be interesting. Okay.
So
That'll be be good.
Otherwise, the new yellows are fantastic, and I love the Croxigar scales and the Eldari Emerald.
I was thinking, I just got to use these new ones, and then I'll probably. I know it's only a matter of time before I'm going to start grabbing all of them because I mean, I really, while I was on my painting kick, aside from the fact that painting painters out there, both on the podcast and on YouTube watching, two things will improve your painting if you're a crappy painter like me, or at least speed things up. Number one, contrast paints. Contrast paints are great or similar. Your contrast paint of choice. We're gonna make contrast paint like Xerox. It's just our Coca-Cola. It's gonna be just that kind of thing. Because I know Army Painter has their speed paints and somebody else has another type. Anyway, those are really helpful. Along with your shades, your washes. Washes are also your friend.
The new washes are fantastic. The shade Croak Green is awesome. I picked up a couple of the different ones. Poxwalker. Yeah. I got the new Nuln oil because mine was.
I got 2 big pots of Nuln oil, so I'm like, do I really want to buy the new one? I've seen what it does, so I'm probably going to get it.
Dude, Nuln oil. I mean, you can never have enough Null oil, but I mean, like that is the Coca-Cola of all paints. The Null oil.
I mean, from all the things that I've seen on the different YouTube, the real YouTube channels that talk about painting and gaming, they have the results that I've seen with that new Nuln oil is just been really kind of awesome. So I'm leaning towards probably getting it.
I'm kind of liking it a lot more for some of the metallics because it doesn't wash the whole metallic and make it darker. It's going into the recesses. And I actually used it wasn't the new Nuln oil, but it was the Rattling Grime on this Beast Lord on his chainmail. And it basically made a platinum silver into bolt gun. Metal.
That's nice. I'll have to check that out. So yeah, so from that standpoint, there's a lot that was been going on with the painting world with the release of the new contrast. But anyway, back to what I was saying. Contrast paints, washes, your friend for making painters. Don't get the trick with it, don't get turned off by it because your results are kind of iffy. It just, the more you use it, the better you're going to get at it. And that's
Agreed.
what I learned, because I was always sloppy with it and whatnot. But now that I'm using it more, especially the contrast, once you learn how to pull the contrast into place and know how it's going to puddle and how quickly it dries, you'll be amazed at how well it works for you.
Yeah, I use a size 0 brush to put my contrast on.
Okay.
So it doesn't.
It on.
Yeah, I don't pool it unless, if I'm doing like a big cloak or something, then I grab the big boy brush and I'm like
number 2.
Yeah, the number 2. I think that's exactly what I have. I only use 2 brushes.
I use 3.
I use my Redgrass Games number 2 and my Redgrass Games number 20. Not a sponsor though.
No, really a sponsor for this channel. Trust me. We rate nothing.
I learned a fancy trick with dry brushes because you go to the store and a dry brush is $6, or you just use old crappy beat up brushes.
Yep.
You can get like a 30-pack of makeup brushes on Amazon for like $10.
Oh, that works too.
Oh, okay. Well, there we go. So second tip that I could give people, and this is one that I was very hesitant to do with painting, is wet palette. Now, most people will use the wet palette to kind of mix their paints, to get different grades and shades and whatnot. I use it when I have my thick Viejos and some of my GWs and whatnot, and I help to thin it out on my brush so that way I could put it down a lot evener and in thinner coats, much more control instead of being glopped on.
Absolutely.
That's helped me a ton, to be perfectly honest. Is even if I'm taking it out of the pot, so like I got a black or I got a purple and I'm taking it, just putting it in the pot, I'll have the wet palette there so I could kind of round it out and then thin it on my brush. And then
dang, for those of you who don't want to spend like $10 to get a wet palette, I just take my water dish, dip it slightly in there to make it more runny, and then done. That's exactly what I do.
Something else is keeping little bottle caps, different sizes, just random little plastic pieces. For viewers, I've been using this to mix up different paints and thin it out when I don't want to get the wet palette out, if I'm only doing like a quick 5-minute session or something.
And in those 5 minutes, Cody will be done with like 20 figures.
Yeah,
but still.
So that's painting roundup. I'm sure once Gen Con's over and there might be some more reveals for maybe potentially Bushido or other games, we will be all over it, especially if it's a game that we like.
Or if it's a game that we're thinking like, hey, we're going to get into this.
And we've been saying that forever.
Hey, I know we sold out completely, but I heard that the new Brawl Machine rules are pretty good.
That's nice, but I have no more War Machine and I have no intention of buying it back.
I know. I've got remnants of random crap that I've accumulated, but I've been watching a lot of stuff coming out with that where it's more of a community-based format, I think, and it's actually getting a lot of traction, so
we'll have to see. It goes back to its skirmish game roots, it sounds like.
I haven't really looked at the rules, so I don't know.
I'll be honest. I've seen Ash over at Gorilla Miniature Gaming. He's got at least 2 videos up using Brawl Machine, so I'm probably going to have to take a peek at those and see. Just to see. I mean, go back to the heyday of War Machine, but I mean, right now I got my Bushido. I know a certain Mr. Eric is looking to get some Carnival in it. I bought a boatload of terrain that I'm slowly starting to slog and put together. And then there's Arena Rex, which I want to play more of, and there's Drowned Earth, which I still haven't given up. I love Drowned Earth. Carnival has a similar mechanic. Drowned Earth, they got it spot on with that movement. And I just do. I enjoy the hell out of that game. And then there's Clash of Spirits, which that just means I got Clash of Spirits and Clash of Katanas.
Don't forget Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, yes, that's a selling out to the man.
To the Overlord GW.
Yes, our Lord and Master GW. This capital G, capital W.
And whenever production issues and stuff finally get figured out, I'll have Judgment.
Ooh, that'll be fun to play.
I was working on my little pet project that I converted up a while back.
Ooh.
It's ethereal, but I added horns, wings, a little devil tail.
Just a little devil tail, you know.
Little devil tail.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, and then she's got her little flame cloud.
Nice. All right. Well, I guess that means that we can jump into that gets around. Are we ready to jump into theme here?
Yep.
Yeah.
I am.
Are you ready to go?
Back
Oh,
to
I'm
the Cheeto.
ready to
the
go.
Cheeto.
Back to
And,
the jungles. Or the
back to-
bungles.
Yeah, I was like, we already bungled pretty hard on that, saying, "Oh, we don't have anything to talk about in gaming," and then it's like, "Oh, wait, no, we have this to talk about."
I'll find something to talk. I'll find something to game about. I'll find something to talk gaming wise about. Oh, that. So last thing, I'm really looking forward to. Last thing, really looking forward to Kickstarter starting from Catalyst for the new Leviathans. Oh, I love Leviathans so much. And
I don't know if I ever played Leviathans.
I haven't.
I know Josh did, and because he got his butt handed to him, he immediately disliked it with a passion.
That sounds like me with was it Firestorm?
I thought it was Star Trek Combat Simulator.
Well, that one too, but that was because
that's
I
a
refused to
Ragnar
play
game.
meta.
There's no meta to Star Trek Combat Simulator.
Oh no, I meant the Star Trek Attack Wing.
Oh yeah,
Oh, yeah.
Attack Wing's a whole different story. Those two games are light years apart. They just use the same kind of shaped figures.
Yeah,
but
I
yeah,
never played the other one. So anyway,
looking forward to throwing my money at that Kickstarter because I had such good luck with Palladium and Robotech. So
Ooh.
that
one hit a lot of people, I feel like.
All right. So Gaming Jason, your Bushido theme for Temple, which theme did you take?
I picked the initiation because everybody needs to be initiated into the Temple of Brocan. And it's a good starting off point. Also, I think this is the starter box, isn't it? Initiation, because I can't imagine the other two being the starter boxes.
Yeah, it's the new starter box.
Okay. So while Gaming Greg is pulling up aids for our YouTube audience, initiation, pretty simple theme bonus. If in the warband has at least one instance of each element, which are earth, water, steel, wind, and fire, across all friendly monk models in play, all monks gain one key token in the starting phase. You're permitted to use monks only, and exclusion is anything that's got void in it. So pretty straightforward, straight into the point. And actually, I think that this actually does do a pretty good job of addressing some slight issues with Temple, as in they're just key hungry. So a theme to give them extra key in my books, that is always welcome. It's a pretty easy chain to break depending on your monks that you bring, which is why I tried to at least double some of the more weaker monks elements that I noticed, or the more brittle monks. So hopefully that will come across. If not, I mean, once one of the elements are gone, you kind of lose the bonus. But I mean, capitalize on it for as long as you can.
So what do you have? What do you have next, sir? Oh, he's checking something here off to the side.
So we'll start here with my list. So I'll just start with my most expensive model. I took the Steel Monk Soichiro for 21 points.
Oh, Soichiro.
And also because I was kind of looking for other stuff, because I figured I may as well make him the pick of my faction, I also gave him finesse for a point. So that way it's like I know that I will deal with just about anything, even if it's got brutal.
I'm not
as afraid of Masunagi.
I'm having old man issues. Here we go. All right.
Soichiro's biggest weakness is no light-footed.
Well, I mean, I absolutely don't disagree with that, but I mean, if I can get him whatever position or wherever I'm sticking him at the board, once he reaches that location, at this point, especially with finesse helping a lot and everything else, it is quite a challenge to kill the man.
Oh, absolutely.
I've only managed to pull it off twice, and I got really, really lucky when I did it. Both times.
Yeah. Go ahead. I was going to say because we haven't talked. We've talked about him in the top 3, so I'm not.
Yeah, he was my number. He was my number 3 also. So I mean, solid monk at 4 melee dice, and then 4 and everything else. He hitting at 2. That gives this list a little bit of hitting power too, being +2. Then once you stick him up somewhere, good luck trying to get him off.
Yeah.
And then with finesse for an extra point, that just helps him more defensive wise because I want him to be stuck up with whoever's up in there. So if I put finesse on him, brutal, I no longer fear, and it's brutal. You're just another model to me.
Nice. Okay.
So model number 2, I took Yuki at 16 points.
Yuki, all the way down.
I love Yuki.
She is really good, and she covers one of my wind elements. Yuki, I know, was in your top 3, and I know we talked about her, or she was somebody's honorable mention, but I know we talked about her a lot. She also happens to be a 4-die monk, so that's really good. She has light-footed, so she can move around the board real quickly. Having vitality also huge help. So in this particular list idea, Tsuchiro kind of helps cover zones, while Yuki will help cover idle missions. And just kind of running on people and getting them in and out. Because if I remember right, Yuki has the ability where at the beginning of her activation, or the beginning of the turn, she can place 1 inch.
Beginning of the turn, yeah, in the starting phase.
Yeah, so that's a huge one there too. So that just helps her with her mobility and getting around and grabbing idols or helping other people out or just getting in the way. Yeah. And that will cover my wind element for my list for the initiation.
Nice. All right.
And one quick addition with her place effect, don't be afraid to use it, not necessarily to move her, but just to change her facing.
Yeah, that's also true too.
Get surprised, or if you need to set up a run or a charge.
For sure. Anything that could do that in the starting phase, if you see it coming, you spin her around, especially with flankers and whatnot. That's something that can definitely be handy to do that to protect yourself from. I also think she could also while she's got the vitality and you're thinking of her more as a flipper, she could deal the damage, and she's also somebody that's going to be able to handle the durable
with combo 0.
Because she'll get combo 0.
Yes, definitely with that. It's 3 and it's an instant, but at least you could use it when you need it. Yeah. And to be honest, she's only going to be holding 6 keys, so she's going to get up there by turn 3, and that's assuming nobody's channeling or she has no other way to get some key. Well, or actually, she's getting 3 key because they all get extra 1 because of
as long as I'm keeping the initiation together, so she's getting 3 key a turn, so she'll be maxed out by turn 2. So
she could burn it when she needs it, and it's only 2 to give her a 5th die, for which she's really not using it for anything except for maybe Counter-Strike defense, which with that combo with Rain of Blows, she's going first, which means she lands her hits and then she defends, possibly triggering Counter-Strike defense.
Well, you can only do one or the other, though. She doesn't have 4-handed technique.
Oh,
because she gets combo attack.
You
kidding me? If she was 16 and then she got to do
25, right?
This is Gaming Greg just playing his own game, making his own rules in his head, saying, this would be kick-ass.
This is kick-ass Bushido, where we say rules.
Case.
Forget that. Out the window.
So, yeah, forget that. So just ignore that. Ignore that brilliant stroke of tactical genius that I had there.
It's all good. We'll see. We'll watch in the erratas that becomes a real thing, and then be like, oh, damn.
It'll never become a real thing.
No, that'll be my next Grandmaster model.
It's Yuki, but we gave her 2 extra sets of hands that way she could use 4-hand technique.
She has 6 hands. She could use 2. She could use 2 attack and 2 special defenses. We're going to have a party.
So she's basically just like Goro from Mortal Kombat at that point.
She's got like 4 arms, and she could do all kinds of things. Well, that'd be kind of cool.
You have to roll 4 different colored dice.
Yes.
Oh god,
that would be awesome.
All right. So to cover my fire element, and this is one of my first dual monks, to cover 2 different elements, Botan at 14 rice.
Oh shit, we gotta go to the other end of the alphabet.
I looked him over, and then he compared.
I bet I don't have Botan in here because he's so new. That's
I mean, I
alright.
looked at some of the other fire monks, and I mean, there was Hotaro, which I was like, I kind of like her. Sakura, or whoever the Sakura version of the fire monk, she's too expensive for what she does, even though I really like her. And then there was one other
There's a
fire
lot of
monk that
monks.
I couldn't really get behind in doing. So with Botan coming out, I was like, you know what? He covers my fire element. The only issue is fire is going to be my one weak element where I can't really say I'm covered good. But Botan overall is pretty kick ass, especially for 14 rice. 3 melee pool, 4 move, 3 range, 2/6 on his key. He boosts at 2, which is nice. He's got combo attack 1, counter strike defense at 1, which is really nice. Sidestep at 0. He comes with bravery, courage, jump up kata, and range defense. And then his special is blazing maelstrom.
Blazing Maelstrom.
So
Dun,
he
dun,
can
dun.
also actually be a surprisingly good grabber, because when he runs, I believe when he runs, he gets cloud walk. So he's another one where he's definitely going to help me on my idle grabs. Just got to make sure not to overextend myself, because otherwise I'm going to lose initiation real quick, because I'm going to get him killed.
Well, and when he does Blazing Maelstrom in the first place, until the end of the current activation, this model gains Cloud Walk +2 move statistic, and this model's Bujitsu weapon gains +1 strength and fire +1/1. This key feat may only be used once per activation. So yeah,
So he's a very it is very glass cannony of him, but he can at least do some other things, and he's not at least weighed down with like impetuous, and he's priced well. The only big thing is that he definitely can be the weak link in losing initiation, because overextending him is very, very possible, and he's not as, I want to say, tough as like some of the other monks, just how he's built.
Well, I think with the three melee pool, he's not as strong a fighter as some. But he's 14 points. He's cheap, and he could, if you catch somebody napping, or you catch somebody who's, exhausted themselves and maybe already engaged with another monk, you
Having him fly in.
pop the Blazing Maelstrom, you jump him in there, and just start punching away. That you could do some serious damage. I don't think you're going to use combo or counter strike all that often, again, because he's only 3. And you're kind of tipping your hat if you're buying that 4th die.
Yeah,
that you're probably thinking of using one of those 2, or maybe you're splitting it, splitting 2/2 or 3/1 when you go into attack. But yeah, I like him. I find him very interesting. So.
I actually just put him in my order because I haven't picked him up yet.
Oh,
so
a figure you don't have?
Yeah.
Hold on.
Or at least I don't think I have him. I don't know.
We'll find out if you have a duplicate of him. That'd be awesome.
You haven't done inventory yet.
No, I keep finding random Bushido figures. I just found a Ashinaga Tanaga.
Oh, look, I just found this extra copy of Drunken Master.
I definitely don't have multiples of that.
I don't believe it at this point, because someone probably accidentally threw it in on their trade.
I wish.
He got all these things. I'll throw in a Drunken Master for free. Thanks for coming down to Greg's used Bushido miniature mart.
Use Bushido and Emporium.
It's where all the dead miniatures go.
I thought it was the Heavy Men Hair Club and Collectibles.
Oh, that's actually a better one. I like that better.
We put the snake in snake oil.
Nice. So after Botan, Riku will cover my water monk element.
Oh my god! Can't you pick things in the same part of the alphabet? Keep going.
Keep talking. Riku, I mean, he's a solid water monk. He's in that same category that I would put up with Shuichiro, as in he's a pain in the ass to kill. Solid monk. He's also 4 dice, 2 on the boost, 4 melee, and then 2/6 key, 4 range if you ever, the day that they decide to give us like 1 use ranged weapons. So Bujitsu is +1, so that's nice. So that way I've got a little bit of hitting power. Push attack on 0, counter strike 1, push defense. So he can kind of push people out of zones or get people out of position if you need to. Bravery, jump up, kata, and parry 1. His key abilities, though, that's definitely what makes him just really nasty. Though they're key abilities that are just really, really situational, but they're really good. So the first one is Tsunami, which is a 3-inch pulse, and it's a simple action to do this one. But enemy models that are within the pulse must pass a size challenge test of 7,
challenge.
or be moved directly away from Riku until they hit a piece of impassable terrain, or they are moved 8 inches, I believe.
Yep.
Yep.
Or until they have moved 8 inches. Yep.
Yep. So that's a really fun way to just say, I have cleared out this zone.
Well, and what's even more fun is is the rest of that feat. If another model is contacted by models being moved by this feat, it must make a size challenge 6 test or be pushed along with the original model. So that's all fun.
So it's a nice way to clear out a zone. I know Ryujin's got the same ability, and then his gigantic CD base that helps, but having littler version of it, it's super nice. The other one, Wall of Water. I mean, enemy models treat the aura as obscuring difficult. That's something nice. That's just nice to get in your opponent's way.
Yeah, it's anytime you could throw down some difficult terrain. I mean, it's difficult, it's obscuring, so you're giving portable cover essentially. Anytime you could throw down something, I wish it's difficult to pass through. So even if they make their size challenge 6 to enter the aura, they're still going to be walking slowly. So their movement's going to be reduced unless they have light-footed. So, it really abuses those lists that don't have an abundance of light-footed, like, I don't know, Minimoto.
Or Silver Moon, unless you're playing Roses.
Or I don't think Cult has a whole lot either. Those Karai are pretty slow.
They're all slow in general.
So make them get them bogged down even more. It's kind of fun. So yeah, I like that. I like that a lot.
I actually used that pretty much every single game at Adepticon, and almost every single turn I put that up when I remembered, except for when I was playing against the Savage Wave player, because Oni size challenge 6 didn't.
And they're rolling like 4 dice.
Yeah, I was like, that's a waste of a key.
Yeah, kind of.
So I mean, he's another model that I don't feel bad about him getting sucked into, and with him having an 8 parry 1, his survivability is up there.
Yeah. Well, 4 dice and parry 1 is pretty sweet. So I gotta agree.
Yep. Let's see. Next monk covers my Earth element. This one's maybe a little bit weak, or kind of another weak point, but I still think with Earth you're still pretty good. Which is Seiji.
Seiji.
I like him too. He almost made the cut for Adepticon.
Almost, but didn't make the cut.
Nope.
The Grandmaster.
So Seiji falls into the melee category that Botan does. 3 dice in melee, but he boosts at 2, so I mean that's awesome. 4 speed, 2/6 on his key hold, 3 in range. Force pack attack 0, so that's super nice for clearing out a zone if you need to. Having Counter-Strike 1, I mean, that's actually really nice. I totally blanked on that, even though I did my list a couple days ago. Counter-Strike 1 is super nice, and then Sidestep is always good to get around people. Having Bravery, Jump Up, Kata, and Range Defense 1, I am not as worried about him getting shot to death.
Unless it's Wasapu.
Well, Wasapu is the exception to everybody's rule. All shall fear our Lord and Savior Wasapu. He is a merciful but fair God.
No, he's not fair at all.
I know,
but that's beside the point. So then key feats on this dude is Binding Roots and Regrowth. Binding Roots is X+1, simple feat. It creates a 3-inch pulse, which will not give vitality if you're looking on YouTube. It's 3-inch pulse. Don't have anybody in base to base when you do it. Choose up to X enemy X. I was going through a growth spurt. Time for change. Time to rearrange. For those who watched the Brady Bunch growing up, which is probably just me of all of our listeners, but that's all right. Choose up to X enemy models within the pulse's area of effect. Each model chosen becomes immobilized. So that's kind of fun, especially if there's some way that you could dump a boatload of key on this dude and get that, because there's no restriction on X. So if I had like 9 key, which he can't have, so I could have 6 key. So I could lock down 5 models. So Ninja Force, let's say ninjas were going in for the kill and surrounded him, I could, if they're just immobilized. I think I had to make a test. Sweet. That's even better.
It's disgusting. Yeah, that's why he almost made the cut, but I replaced him with a Kawa. So
Shocking.
Oh darn. Okay, for 14 points. I mean, if I could take the Kawa in this list, then absolutely, I would take both of them.
Listen, it's like there was even a thought of that. Oh, but I had to take the Kawa.
Yeah,
That's like the equivalent of like
self-explanatory
saying
there.
that's the equivalent of like, oh well, I could take this player, or I could just take Ronaldo.
No,
Okay,
or that. I was gonna say, I'm going to take this fuel efficient Hyundai Accent, or I could have this Maserati.
I'm taking the Maserati.
You'll take the Maserati. And then his other key feat, regrowth, 1 key, instant, personal. This model gains regenerate 2 until the end phase, which means that he will heal 2 wounds in the end phase.
So that's why I'm not as worried about him maybe breaking the initiation theme, just because I can at least give him regrowth. I mean, again, it's key hungry, so if I screw something up and the amount of key that I'm using, then that could catch me off guard. But overall, I mean, I think that I know the one weak point that's going to break initiation is probably going to be Botan. The rest of the other monks, they've got at least some other mechanic to kind of keep themselves alive, so that way I can keep initiation running as long as possible.
Yes.
But I did still kind of cop out, and I did take one back. I took one semi-fail safe to back my initiation up, and that's taking Akio at 10.
I was gonna say Kawa no Rojin.
I break theme. But taking Akio, the little
you mean
girl,
he's not that bull is not a monk?
Of course it's not.
Should be.
I mean, may as well at this point.
not until they errata it into a monk.
Dude, I mean, if Master Po rode a bull, I'd be okay with that. That would be kind of cool.
Schlitz malt liquor bull. All right. Akio.
35 rice model.
Yes. So she's my supporter, so I don't think we've talked about her too much. So 1 melee pool, 4 speed with a boost at 2, which kind of bite me in the ass for those who watch that battle report. Range 4 for some reason. So the day that they give ranged weapons, this little girl's getting a gun.
Getting a gun. Oh, don't kill me. Blam. Holy crap, little girl's got a gun.
Little girl's got aim. And then she key stat of 2. Bujitsu, sidestep defense, but she's -2, so try to throw that 1 die in defense. Kata, resistance 1, tiny. So she is the real reason why I took her is if and when Botan dies or I break initiation, she's my backup with Blessing of the Kami. So since she is a monk model, she's benefiting from getting that extra key too, so that helps stockpile it. Which is Blessing of the Kami, target friendly faction, non-soulless, non-insignificant model gains a virtue token. And then wouldn't you happen to know she's got a crap ton of virtue effects, and they're all really good.
Yeah.
But I mean, realistically, for as long as I can keep it up, I mean, I'm throwing out virtue tokens and I'm just giving out void markers to keep pumping extra key into my model. So then that way I'm like, I will just keep that way I can basically abuse as much of my key feats as possible. On the off chance, this also does, I think, give me a little bit of protection for Botan because I can use the water effect on him. So that way I can at least heal him in a pinch.
I think that should damage him. It's water. He's fire.
But I mean, beyond that, it's pretty much, except for certain situations that something may come up, it's going to be basically just how much extra key can I give all my figures.
That's true. I was going to say,
It's exactly what I used her for.
That's what everybody uses her for. And then we all learned that that we need to kill her. Of course, the damn thing where it's like, oh, I'm going to send an animal to kill her. Oh, well, key challenge test of 5 to walk with an animal. I'm like, something.
Technically, if you think about it, humans are animals. So wouldn't they have to be everyone would be a test, or is it just a keyword? I'm just saying.
Let's put that in the rules question and see what kind of argument that starts.
Man is the deadliest prey.
Try and get the temple page taken down.
No, that's not going to happen.
They're also serene on the temple.
Yeah,
page.
They are. It's not like it's not like.
It's because I don't post.
Yeah. Okay.
I know when I post, I'm playing my bongo drums while I'm putting on there, and it'll be like, boom, 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 boom. Akio must die first, boom, boom, boom. And everybody agrees. I don't know why, and it's weird because it's on that temple page. So that's
the bulk of my force, and I did have about 5 or 6 points left over for some enhancements and extra stuff.
Some goodies. Okay.
So for 2 points,
with that. Yeah.
So for 2 points, I got Moment of Enlightenment.
Moment of Enlightenment. Keep going. That's
a good one.
Power through. Yeah, that is a good one. Why did I go
Sorry
through
for
that?
those in the background. I have the
The
youngling
next
who is
generation of
the youngling
gamer.
who is now not.
He's
being
disagreeing.
Cool.
He's disagreeing with everything you're saying. He's like, Dad, yeah, you're wrong. Listen to Gaming Greg. He's really smart and gonna kick your ass.
At this point.
Jason had moment of enlightenment.
Yep. So you use that, I believe, in the starting phase, and it's just instant. You get to distribute 4 key tokens to other non-Solus models in the warband, aka give myself more key.
Played during key generation, immediately distribute 4 additional key tokens to non-Solus models in the warband. So that's pretty sweet. When you need to have that pick me up a key, moment of enlightenment. Try some. What's next? So that's 2 of your 5. You got 3 tasty points left. Is it Rice Bale Barricade?
No, not Rice Bale. Garento. The Garento, though, actually.
Garento. Yeah, that's
You're playing Temple. You basically are taking the Garento.
Yeah. Actually, I still got 4 points after that. After those also, because that was only 3 points.
That's 2 points. That's 2 points for moment of enlightenment.
I had like
for those who aren't used to the Grinto. The Grinto is terrain. It's impassable, blocking, small. It's destructible, so you can destroy the poor Grinto. During the key generation step, choose 1 friendly non-Solus model within 6 inches to gain 1 additional key. Shocking! This terrain must be deployed 6 inches of center line. You could have a maximum of 1, and it costs 1 rice. Therefore, it has cost Jason. So far, he's spent 3 on events and terrain. Cody, I'm taking a bet. What do you think is going to be his next card?
He's actually spent 4 because finesse.
Yeah, finesse.
Oh, finesse. So he's down to 1.
No, I've got 4 points left.
I'm sad about that too.
So next one, I copped out and I took balance for 1.
Balance for 1. All right. Balance means no one gets rerolls.
I feel like that's almost an auto include with Temple, because Temple doesn't, with Kata and stuff, they really don't have any rerolls or anything. And there's some models with dodge and whatnot, but it's always a good one to just throw in there. It's 1 point. Why not?
I don't disagree.
And then the last thing I took was preordained for 3 because I didn't know what else to spend the 3 points on. So I was like, I'm gonna take preordained.
There you go.
You could always take the student of cards to double up more of your elements.
Yeah.
I did think about that, but I was at the time I was kind of just like, I mean, I could. Some of them were like, I couldn't think of like how I would use it in some situations versus another. I did legitimately think about taking those, but I thought that preordained would just like, I know what preordained does, and honestly, with Temple, even if I get a 1, I mean, yeah, it's gonna go for my opponent, but there is no bad die roll. I'm still gonna get it to count for something.
That is true. You could always, like, if you were worried about fire, put the student of, I think it's Master Morita on Ioko.
Yeah, no, you got to have fire. You have to have fire available. I think the one that gives me immune fire.
No, it gives them the fire element.
Gives them the fire. That's all you're worried about is getting the fire element. You're not worrying so much about what the effect is. Let me find out for you really quick. That's an enhancement.
Yeah.
Student of Master Enos.
It's Morita. Yeah.
Pat Morita? I love that guy. The attachment gains the fire element and becomes immune to fire. Great for punching. Great for someone who has combo attack that wants to punch the bejesus out of fire elementals.
Yep.
So handy. Yet. So I don't have it in my list.
Yep.
That's the thing.
So that's pretty much my list there. I think it's actually pretty solid. I had fun actually building this, but I thought I did a pretty decent job for covering all my bases. I mean, VIM I might struggle a little bit, but not even then.
Yeah.
Did you end up with 6 models? Yeah, that's not bad.
It's not bad. No, not bad at all. Not bad at all. So again, it's again for our first go at doing a temple list, at least me and Gaming Jason. It's not a bad thing at all. I would give it a whirl. Why not? Especially at club.
I would too. The only thing I might change just to protect the theme is swapping out some of the like preordained for
more student stuff. Sure.
Yeah, but otherwise, at least model base, I like where the direction Jason went with that. I think it's a solid list. I do like some of the unsway monks too. like Haru and Umi just for those cheap element boosters, but
I did try to take Haru, or actually Haru was in the list, but I was running out of ways to spend rice, so I was just like, all right, you know what, I'm gonna upgrade Haru to Seiji, and that's kind of where those 3 points went.
yeah,
Makes sense.
I can see that. It's easy to do.
Yeah. All right, so that is Jason's initiation theme. So when we drew our straws, or more importantly, Cody said that he wanted to go last, and he's Grandmaster. He deserves to go wherever the hell he wants. And Jason, of course, was going to go first because he's on baby duty tonight. So that leaves me as the middleman. I am the cream filling of the Bushido Oreo that is this podcast.
Oh, I'm glad you went that direction.
I don't even want to know what direction you were thinking, and that's wrong, and I don't know where you get that from. Don't blame me.
Yeah.
I know that finger's pointing directly at me. That's okay. I'll fess up to it. That's fine. So what theme did I get? I picked, or basically I got, as of luck of the draw, I got Righteous Warriors. Woo! Which is cool because I really do like the monks. So I'm all about monk power. Initiation is probably one I would enjoy too. But Righteous Warriors, I fought against this not locally that I can remember, but I did fight against it in its previous version. I don't even know if well, my list is going to mirror what used to kick my ass all the time by one of our.
Josh played this all the time.
Yeah, so I pretty much stole most of his ideas.
So it's all rock kami?
No, actually, I don't have a rock kami in it, but I can get one if need be. So Righteous Warriors theme. What's in the theme for Righteous Warriors? Well, I don't know why I turned this off because Jason's not going to do that. So I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do that. Bam. Righteous Warriors. First bullet point. While within 3 inches of friendly monk models gain resistance +1, which is great because except for one model, everything in my list is a monk. Cool. So good luck trying to control me or doing most of your key feats against me. Have fun with that. Bullet point number 2. Each starting phase, one friendly monk model gains channel 3 and leech 3. I'll be honest, with the list that I've kind of put together, this isn't too important, but it's nice to have. So I'm not gonna poo-poo it out of hand. However, the last one I really kind of dig because it gives you a lot of flexibility and gives you the ability to, I don't want to say net deck somebody because you're not changing your whole list around, but it gives you the ability to tweak it depending on your opponent, depending on your mission or whatever the scenario is. Before deployment, you may swap any lesser kami model for any other permitted lesser kami model, including Ronin lesser kamis. So in my list, I do have a kami. If that kami isn't necessarily fitting my list, or I think something would be better than the kami I have in my list, I could swap it out. So to be perfectly honest, it really doesn't matter as long as I've saved 8 points in my list that has a kami that I can swap a kami in and out. So that's kind of key there. So what is Righteous Warriors? What are the exclusions permitted? There's no exclusions, but only permitted is monks, up to 1 Sohi, a construct, which I'll be honest, I was really tempted to try the constructs, and I may on another day try a construct list because I love those foo dogs. Those guys look so cool.
I keep trying to build a list with them, and it's hard.
It's hard. No, I don't disagree with you. It's hard. But that might be something I'm going to try at some point. Kami, which do Temple have just a kami within Temple? I don't think so.
No,
I know they have yokai, but they don't have kami yet.
No, but I think a lot of the theme, a lot of the factions, it'll say like kami and then Ronin kami, just so if they ever do get an actual themed one.
Yeah. So that'll be fun. And then Ronin kami, which opens up all the kami. So a lot of fun with that. So what is my list? Unlike the others who obviously didn't give me their lists ahead of time, so I couldn't make the cool scrolling banner that's about to go bam right there.
Oh, my bad.
It's all right. I was going to do it, but we were all chatting about crap before we actually started while you were downloading your stuff. So I'll make people dizzy with my scroller. So
Especially on mine.
yeah, I could probably type it while we're going. So what is in my list? Number one. This is going to be. I'm going to some of my top threes too, so I'm not going to lie. This is
Master
kind of
Yakuza.
not good. Yeah, my number one is he is my most expensive model. He is the grand old man himself, Master Yakuza. 22 points of kick butt monk. He's got water. He's got earth. He's got air. He's earth, wind, and fire, baby. Metal. He's got all the elements all in one because he's cool. He's got a melee stat of 3. He's got a movement of nothing because why does he need to move? He doesn't. People move to him. He doesn't move to them. Range attack of 4 because eventually they're going to give him a gun. And then he will get, and then he has key stat of 3, can hold up to 10, and he could boost that key if he needs to get 4 dice when he's rolling against somebody by spending 2 key. And he could also boost his melee by spending 2 keys. So he's got a lot going for him. Yeah, I think he's pretty solid. Melee wise, it's a +0 melee strength with his bow. Push defense, sweep defense kind of sweet. Knock people down, that's always fun. Traits, he's got a boatload of them as a 22 point model should. Cavalry 3 inches, so basically he can move in and out of whatever danger he wants because he's got cavalry. That's how he actually moves around the board. While I was saying that channel from this theme isn't such a big deal for me, is this dude he could channel up to 10 key within 8 inches. So basically, he's like the Tower of Power. He's pulling. Plus, he has also leech 10-8. So he's pulling. He's distributing key as he sees fit from the middle of the board. Because 8 inches, that's 16-inch radius. Yeah, that's a 16-inch diameter. That's covering most of a 24-inch board when he needs to. Unless my math is wrong, which is very possible. Defensive, that means who cares? He doesn't need to. He wants to knock people down anyway, so go defensive all day long. Fearless, he's a dude riding a giant tortoise. He's not afraid of anything. I mean, look at him. Does he look afraid? He's very happy. I'm happy.
Dude, he's got a little lemur on his shoulder in the artwork.
Right.
Does the model have a lemur?
I hope he does.
Let me double check real quick.
He also has heal 3, so he could come up and heal somebody, so that's kind of cool. He's immune to prone because
he's on a giant tortoise.
Well, and if he falls down, he's pretty much done for. I mean, let's be honest.
I can't get up.
That's what the prayer beads are. They're not actually that. It's medical alert.
They're all life alerts.
Life alert. He has kata, like any good monk should. Leadership friendly 1/6. So should he need it, he's got it. We already talked about leech, range defense 2, 6 sense, slow, spirit 1. Like I said, good luck trying to dominate this guy or do any kind of opposed key feed on him. He's gonna pwn everything.
That double-headed Oni he won't, but he is at least like comparable.
I'll bump myself to 4 dice and say, "Come at me, bro."
He's got, you have Spirit 1, so you're rolling. Oh, damn, you'd be rolling 5 dice.
I'd be rolling 5 dice. Who's gonna win this, biatch?
Well, he's 4 dice plus. I think he's Willpower 1, I think so.
Yes, he has a lemur, a gecko, and a bird.
Oh, damn, that's nice.
Well, there you go. Everybody loves it.
Double fisting Yakuza.
So
okay, after the whole like, oh, you can't get him, and that's the reason why he wasn't number 1 too. Oh, I have 2 of them.
So my reason for liking Yakuza a lot in this list, and why he's there. One, he's kind of channeling. I'm going back to my Ito roots. I like being able to throw my key where I want it, and he can do that. Plus, he generates a boatload of key. But more importantly, his key feats are kind of astounding. Let's be honest. So key feats are not Cobra Strike and Divert Energy. It is Aura of Serenity. So once per game, when I think that I'm starting to lose control of things, which is probably on game turn 2 or 3, also, for X key, it's a complex action. Anything within the aura, which is X inches. So I'll just bump 10 key into it, and I could cover 20 inches of board. So the board. But no, I wouldn't do that. I don't think I would need to. All soulless models in the aura, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. All non-soulless models in the aura or in base to base with a model in the aura, lose aggressive, who cares, which is really good to counteract Toshiro, though. May not place dice in attack, even better. Use special defenses during melee exchanges, target enemy models with key feats, or move through aura with a charge or run action. So essentially, I'm shutting down combat for a turn within that aura.
Unless you're Ghost.
And I can make, unless you're Soulless. So Karai are still going to screw that up, but, whatever, or Ghost. But that will give me a lot of freedom to do things then that will allow me to get control of the situation, move around, flip idols, get people in zones without worrying about getting the bejesus beat out of me. On a lot of my guys' feats, I shouldn't say feats, but abilities are, defensive in nature, so I should be able to push people out of the way and things along those lines. But more importantly, I look at whoever his toughest. The next one is the one that used to drive me insane, and I fully intend to abuse people with it, and that's Contemplate Existence.
Dude, I was gonna say, I don't know what you mean drove you insane in the past. This still drives me insane today.
I think it's worse than Control, to be perfectly honest.
Well, yeah.
So it's 4-key, simple action, target 12 inches. It's an opposed key test. So yeah, like he's really worried about that. Don't be in base to base with somebody. With a cavalry move, I could pretty much guarantee that I'm not, because I'll just move out of it. Sucker. But I can only do it once per turn. I think that's broken. I really think they should have him do it as much as he wants.
Okay.
4-key.
Okay.
Come on.
I'm just gonna steal
if I
that
can
key
have
from my other
erosions, he should be able to do this multiple times in a turn. But basically what it is, for a simple action and 4-key, I can pick a target and I can remove all their activation counters from that target. Doesn't matter if they're soulless, doesn't matter what they are. I just say, hey, you know what? Think about it. And they do. And they don't do anything. I like that. I think that's really cool. And so that I say for those models that are either really threatening me, or they're their biggest threat, or whatever. Kazu Tireless and is going to beat the crap out of me. Hey, you know what, Kazu? Take a breather. Take a knee. Think about it. Watch that air. Everything's good. You're cool. You just stay there. That's the way I deal with Kazu. So I'm going to abuse the crap out of that every turn if humanly possible. His other one is Inspiration. Shockingly, target friend. It's a 2-key active. You got to be the active model. Target within 6 inches. You can only do it once per turn. Lame. Target friendly faction model with a rice cost less than this model, which is everything in my list, gains +1 melee pull or range pull until the end phase. So I can, except for Ronin, so I can't do it to my Ronin Kami, but I can do it to everything else. So
that's a nice thing with his Inspiration too, is it's not like, restricted to this type of model. Right. He affects everybody.
Everything, whether it's villager, monk, Sohi, construct, as long as it's friendly faction, then it's all cool.
And it's not Master Cody.
Killer Koji's pack.
There you go. All those little monkeys going crazy. At least one of them.
Stealth mode Ayoko.
Yes. Unique effects. This one really doesn't come into play for me, although I wish it could, and I probably could have taken an event card and do it, but I got other event cards that I thought were more useful. While this model is in play, when a friendly model spends a virtue token, you may choose one of the following: Void, gain 2 key tokens, or this model gains 2 key tokens. Inner Peace, this model removes all Berserk, Blind, Disease, blah, blah, blah. I move all the nasty effects on me, which he used to do without spending it was like a key feat.
It was a key feat that he used to have. He had like aura. He had like some version of like aura purification. Instead of Inspiration last edition. So
the only strike against him, he's on a medium base, so that means he's easier to hit. But with a ranged defense of 2, he kind of negates that. So who cares? And there's probably other things that I could do to protect him too. So I don't want to say he's my linchpin, but he is going to make everyone in my list better. And with Contemplate Existence, he will protect me from whoever is the opponent's biggest hitter that doesn't have Vitality. Because Vitality does kind of throw a monkey wrench in that if they could do that. But being able to remove all the activation tokens on most models is going to be crippling, and then provide me the advantage on getting where I need to, or being able to do things that I need to do. So he's my number one. I took a long time with him, but he had a lot of stuff to cover. So now the big question is, any comments from the peanut gallery on that choice? Is good choice, bad choice?
No, I like it. I was actually looking at it, kind of off topic, but running him with is it the Oki Shisha?
Yeah, the big 23-point dogs.
Yeah, I was thinking about running him with one of those as just like
Dude.
an absolute lockdown scenario list.
I mean, just those dogs in general, the 23 pointers, even the littler ones, those things are just like nasty. I guess I haven't really asked why people don't use them as much, but
they're hard to use.
They're hard to use.
Yeah.
They're hard to use. They're not very fast either. So
no, but I just thought with the Aura of Serenity, the Contemplate Existence, and then
Inspiration,
the Dogs effect, where it's just like, oh, you can't declare scenario actions in this aura. It's like between the two of them, you just lock down the board, and it's like, okay, well, what do I do?
46 plus another 22, that would be 60, 65. Right? No, 23. Oh no, that'd be 68. 68 points to take both of the 23-point constructs and him.
I would probably only take one.
Oh, I'd take two, just because it would look cool. He's flanked by the two dogs coming up the board.
I'll paint it all up, and we'll put it on a battle report.
There we go.
It look cool.
All constructs, and get the two minor ones too, because
I've got like 4 of those, so we'll just break the rules a little bit.
We'll throw in an air commie or something like that if we got 8 points hanging out there somewhere.
Oh no, it's got to be the rock commie.
Rock commie.
That way, it's all constructs. Even though the rock commie is not a construct, but
he's not. But
Anyway,
all right.
Yeah, so I like that choice.
I like him. Well, I like the model. 2, I want to use him, and really, he's a great support model, but more importantly, he could really disrupt the enemy's plans, and so that's what I intend to do with him, while also supporting his own people. So, and again, if I had virtue tokens, his virtue token effects are pretty damn boss, to be honest. Getting 2 key tokens, or removing all effects for those people who dislike Blood of Orochi.
Yeah, he combos well with Aiko.
Yeah.
Just because she can throw the virtues out, but they both have the void effect, which is
2 keys.
Yeah, that's awesome.
That is kind of disgusting. All right, so next as the scroller rotates here, Master Yakuza 22, Master Akari, dun 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 dun, the Trash Panda himself. I can't tell you how much I hate this model, so I had to put him in my list. So. Master Akari, what does he do? Master Akari is going to be my idol flipper. He's going to be my harasser. He is going to be the guy that's going to be bouncing around the board causing fits. And I will have the key because so let me run through his stats. So Master Akari is a 20-point model. He's a Sohi, he has a Tanuki, he's a master, and he's a monk.
He's not a monk anymore.
So take that monk part off. So he fills my Sohi slot, which is in the theme. So he has 4 melee pool, 4 movement, 3 range, 3 10 key. He could boost for 2 key, he could boost either his melee pool, his running, his movement pool, or his key if needed. His weapon is the Bujitsu, which it's got the little cane. Minus
it has
2,
reach.
Well, we'll get to that. Patience there. Patience. Minus 2 melee strength. Reach, because it's apparently a long stick. Combo attack 0, counter strike defense 0, and sidestep 0. All zeros, all good. Enough said. He's got dodge 2, jump up, light footed, parry 2, range defense 2, 6th sense, split attack, tiny, and weak. So he's not going to really put anybody down, but good luck trying to hit him with anything.
Unless I'm using him.
Yeah, well, then pretty much guarantee he's dead. That is, and again, his feats are what really will make him. Which why am I
other way
wrong? I do it wrong every time. He's got dash, which is 2. Model gains agile and evasive. So when I really need to get through a tight spot to get to an objective or something that's being blocked, I could get him there. Plus, I can move an extra 2 inches at the end of the activation. Even better. Perfect defense. for those times when somebody's got an unblockable strike, I'll have the perfect defense. Hooray! Or I just want to make sure that I'm always going to not die. So dash is 2 key, active, personal. Perfect defense is 3. It's an instant, so I use it when I need it. Personal. But what really makes him the harassing model that he is vivacity. 3 key, active, personal. This model gains an activation counter. So for 3 key, I gain an activation model. Pump this dude up with 9 key. He's got 2 activations to start with. He'll have 5 activations. And if you flood him with more key, which either A, you give him the channel 3 key, or you just have him within the area of effect of Master Yakuza, and Master Yakuza could toss him more key. And so he could get beyond the 5 that he would have if he powered himself, which is what he would have. So that just means he could do a lot of things in one turn. He's like, I forget what the cartoon was, but with the squirrel who drinks the coffee and just all of a sudden goes berserker. He's Fry after his 100th cup of coffee, just moving all over the place.
Where he reaches inner peace.
He reaches his inner peace and just does everything. So he's in there, and then he's got his unique effect, which that's not too big a deal during a melee exchange. Well, it is.
I'm not going to lie. His unique effect is the biggest middle finger in Bushido to me.
I still haven't figured out how to use it, to be honest.
I mean,
it hurts my head when I read it.
Thank you. Okay, it's not just me.
I mean, how it's always been used against me basically is, oh, I'm going to put something in attack, and then they had a piss poor defense, but they had a good attack. Oh, this attack die now became a defense die. Fuck you. That's basically what it is. It's the biggest FU in the game.
That's how it works, but it's like reading the wall of text. It's like, what?
Yeah,
I've gone to the Discord so many times, and I'm like, all right, I need to figure this out. And yeah, I wish it was just as simple as.
I have a degree in English and wasn't going to be an English teacher, and that still confuses me. So yeah, we'll just leave it at that. Which, whatever. But that's not key to this figure for me. For me, this guy is his job is to score me points especially on objective missions, by getting the objectives and flipping as many of them as possible to put pressure on my opponent to respond to those objectives being flipped. And then as they're trying to recoup their losses, he's harassing them as best he could. Again, I don't care if he killed something. I just need to tie something up, which is kind of a central theme as you're going to see what my next models to this list. So my next model, as you've been watching the scroller going by, is Riku. Just this way. Oh, geez, Greg, why did I pick somebody on the other side of the alphabet?
Because,
well, one of these days I might actually, put these things together in a slideshow, but that would also take me buying PowerPoint or something like that.
Google Slides, dude.
Google's not the answer to everything, man.
I mean, it's the answer to a lot of this stuff if we want it for free.
Answer to a lot of this stuff. Okay, anyway, I'm not petty. So Riku, 17-point monk. He's got his 4 melee pool, 4 movement, 4 range, blah, 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 2/6. He could boost everything with 2s if he needs to. Bujitsu +1, push attack, push defense at 0s. And counter strike defense 1. Bravery, yay, get to reroll. Jump up, kata, parry 1. He's another one of my 4 melee pool monks, except this guy could actually punch, whereas the little panda's going bad. And -2 and weak, which means I'll be lucky if he doesn't do his own. I think they should have a rule that if he rolls triples on damage or something like that with weak, he actually does a point of damage to himself.
Yeah.
Only against Minimoto or anything that's armor 3 or higher. That'd be kind of cool. That's very cartoony.
Yeah, I like it.
But I like it. So he's in here. He could add a little pop, but he's defensive. But he really is seriously in here for his feats, Tsunami and Wall of Water. Tsunami is going to help me control zones. So while Akari is the master of flipping my idols, I need to get something that's going to get me zones. He's the guy that I'm putting in there in the middle zone to clear it when I need it to score points. Tsunami is really good at that. After I saw, oh my gosh, the Jung thing. Ryujin. I don't know why I totally spaced on that because you even said it before. I saw Ryujin do that. Ryujin does it better than anything, especially late in the game and with lots of key. But being able to do that within 3 inches, you should be able to clear that zone out. Just make sure he's going last, which is really easy to do when you have Akari and having all those activations that he could have. So when I need to go last with him, I'm going to go last. I just got to make sure I keep crap off of him.
Oh, good thing I just reread the card because I had this weird idea about slingshotting my models with Tsunami, but it does say enemy models.
It says enemy model.
Yeah.
Otherwise, otherwise it'd been like, oh, I'm so
times.
slingshotting my models.
Well, now here's the interesting. People who are listening, correct me if I'm wrong on this, though. If another model is contacted by models being moved by this feat, must make a size challenge test or be pushed along with the original model. So you could use your enemy to push you to push one of your friendly models along.
Yeah,
if you're lucky enough to get that set up,
yeah,
it's billiards, baby. It's all angles.
Because I know when I did it, everything that I wanted moved was just hitting like the Kawa or something that was immovable, so it really didn't matter anyway.
Well, yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I don't and at that point, if I have my stuff that's hitting my models, I don't necessarily want it to be doing it that way. It'd be much better for a launching off point instead, unless if I was playing like Vim and then like, oh yeah, totally, I want you to push that model down the board.
Another Akari thing, I want it to be Akari so he could be on a little surfboard. I got a little surfing Akari. He's got those cool little surfer shorts going on, and he's got a board.
Man, now I'm gonna have to model my second Akari.
Got to get a water Kami.
It's gonna be like Pikachu. They've got flying Pikachu, surfing Pikachu. It's just gonna be Akari though. So
with a little bit of sunglasses, a Hawaiian T-shirt,
going like this. Woo!
Yeah.
So that's that. Then Wall of Water will also help people keep off of him. So I could throw that down. They have to make the size test to get through. 6, it's doable that they're going to make that test, but also it's still difficult even if they pass the test, so they may not have enough speed to get in there. So again, push them away, pop the Wall of Water. That's 3 key. Again, the way that I could wing key around from all places, it's not that hard for me to do. So that's what he's there. He's my zone control guy. Next up is, I'm waiting for my scroller. Why am I waiting for Yuki? That is right. So Yuki, that's good. We'll go down this way. Yuki is in there because I like to think of her as somewhat little. Oops, there she is. She's little Akari, or actually big Akari if you want to think of it. 16 points. I like the cost, especially because that's getting me a 4-key model that's got Kata. So that's pretty sweet.
You mean a 4 melee pool model?
4 melee pool model. Thank you.
I was like, you kidding me? 4 keys?
Everybody knew what I was talking about. I hope. 4 melee pool model, 4 speed, 4 range attack, 2/6 on key, and again boosting melee or movement or key by spending 2. So that's solid. Pretty much all the monks are that way. Bujitsu +0 on melee strength, not a big deal. Counter strike defense 1, sidestep defense 0. I kind of like having a couple models with sidestep. Not gonna lie, gets me. That's
the Edo in you.
It is the Edo in me. Bravery, jump up Kata. She has light footed. That's always handy.
Mm-hmm.
Rain of Blows. So she's got the vitality, but she can only use it once per turn to give herself an extra activation. Again, very helpful because then I pose 2 threats to people that have to deal with multiple activations, or just to make sure that I'm going last against ninjas, because I'm going to be giving them, if they have a 4-man team and I'm going to have a total of 6 models, I'm giving them 4 pass tokens. So I got to make up the difference there to make sure I'm going last. Rain of Blows, really great for dealing with those durable models. In addition to her kind of being the extra flipper on objectives, she's also probably my primary defender. She's going to be the one that's moving up and around the board and making sure that those models that I don't want to have engaged, like a Riku or a Kuza or something like that, aren't. So she's kind of like my enforcer. She's my bouncer, as it were.
Yeah, I could see that.
And then the other nice thing, because she can be, again, and she could also avoid being locked down, because in the starting phase, I could place this model within 1 inch of its current activation. So she's engaged with somebody that I don't care about dealing with because they're way up the board. I just place her 1 inch away and I go and do something else. Problem solved. So that's her kind of role in my list for this. Would I give her the channel? Probably not. But again, anytime I could have I have 2 models in the list that are going to be able to take above and beyond their 2 activations, so much the better. And they can really pay for it themselves for the most part. I mean, Akari can right out of the gate. By turn 2, he could take 2 extra activations in turn 2, so he's going 4. She's taken 3 in turn 2, so not bad. And again, by having the channel leech or the that I could put on anybody, so she could leech off of somebody to take it, or I just have Yakuza in the background tossing her some from wherever else he's drawing it from, so much the better. So that is what she's there for. Not as in depth as the other ones, but it's important. So that brings me to my last monk model, and that's Seji. Surprisingly, you could tell that Jason. I may have said this last time. Jason is my son, and if you can't see that, just look at how we build our damn lists. Seji. I was looking through and I like him. I mean, 14 points, he's a solid model. No, he doesn't have a 4 melee pool. Seji Monk, 14 points, 3 melee pool, 4 movement, 3 range, 2/6 on key, with the obligatory cost of 2 to boost either the melee pool, the movement, or his key. His Bujitsu +0, so melee strength, nothing big there. Force back attack 0, counter strike defense 1, sidestep 0. Great. And again, the Ito in me says, yeah, sidestep defense. Woo! Bravery, jump up, kata. Great. Nothing wrong with that. Range defense 1 is just icing on the cake because I could avoid some of those ranked attacks. He's here to pin down models with his key feat. Binding Roots. Now, again, it is a size challenge, so is it going to work all the time? No. Oh, no, they're just immobilized. So
no,
sweet.
It's not a chest. It's
but
immobilized.
Immobilize isn't quite as cool as I thought after I read it, but it's still very helpful. They either have to blow a weight action on it, so much the better. Try to pop it. I try to pop if I catch them just right, and again by having Yuki and Akari with vitality, forcing them to burn through my opponent's activations, I could at least get rid of 1, and my goal is to try to catch 2 or 3 of them if I can. And if I'm able to do that, then for 4 key, which again is very affordable, I'm going to immobilize them, and they have to waste their last action in the round to unimmobilize themselves. Or they'll take, essentially that. And there's not much else they could do about it, so I enjoy that. The regenerate makes sure that he has a little bit of staying power. So again, that's his goal. If I could play it right, I have Riku push people out of zones, and then he locks them up, so that way they can't come back in that turn. And again, I could guarantee, even if they have an activation, I can guarantee that they can't get in the zone to mess with me and give me the chance to secure that zone and get that point. Those points it's all about the points. It's all about the points. Last model. So we could try to, I said I wanted to save 8 points to get me a Kami, and I have chosen, and I got to totally close out of that and go into my Ronins. I have chosen the Kami of the Morning Dew. There's a reason for this. It may not be a good one, but again, you got to remember, because of what the theme does, I'm just tossing 1 in, and I could swap it. I could get an Earth Kami. I could get an Air Kami, which I thought about getting an Air Kami just to get some extra, be able to get some shenanigans going there. I get a Fire Kami if I need an extra power. So having that ability, I get a Metal Kami if I really wanted to. I don't know why, but I could.
Nobody takes the Metal Kami. It's the Ito of Kamis.
Ouch. But the reason why I took the Kami of the Morning Dew is because he does 2 things that I've kind of been doing in this theme a bit. There he is. So Kami of the Morning Dew, I'm only taking 1 because, well, I don't have enough points to take 2. Or I probably would have just taken a totally different one. But 8 points, Lesser Kami, 2 melee pool, 3 movement. So he's a little slower than I'd like, but that's not a big deal. 0 range, 0 key, but he has 3 that he's holding 3 key. So he's basically got 3 wounds. He has waves is his attack. It's special, and he has grapple attack 0. I think you know where this is going. He's agile, defensive, dodge, durable, evasive, feint 1, insignificant. He's a kami. He's light-footed and he's soulless. So if I'm going to attack somebody, I'm going to try to grapple. And if I'm throwing anything into attack, I'm going to be grappling. Because that will hold the model in place until such time as they could try to get themselves out. Plus, it will reduce their die pool by 1 as they're trying to break themselves free. Again, it's not something that's going to happen all the time, but it's there. But again, doing 1 in attack, 1 in defense, it's doable, especially because I have feint 1 and I have dodge 2. So I can make somebody re-roll their dice if they roll really well. But of course, he's durable, so no matter what they're going to do, unless it's combo, they're only going to do 1 point of damage to me. So, yay. However, when this model... No, that's the wrong one. Damn it. There's no rhyme or reason to how I put this together.
No, that was the right one.
Well, it was the right one. So, unique effects. When this model... Yeah. When this model suffers wounds in melee, the attacker gains slow until the end phase. So that's kind of cool. So yeah, you've got that. You landed that blow against me. Welcome to the slow club. So now you're less likely to do anything terrible to me.
You're definitely going to get held on your next attack.
Yeah, we could pretty much bank on that. During the starting phase, he has 2 things that can do during the starting phase. Choose one of the following. Place a 5-inch circular. So that's kind of huge. Difficult clear 0 terrain. So basically he turns himself into a giant puddle of difficult terrain centered on this model, then remove this model from play. The terrain element remains until the end phase. So if I catch a whole bunch of people out way away from something and I want to make sure that they have to slog it through because they don't have Cloud Walker light-footed, I pop them into puddle mode. Yay. Or I team him up with everybody's favorite Monk Seji, and I put him in base to base with him, and I just heal 2 wounds. Saving myself to regenerate, or more importantly, he may have some more wounds on him than I want. So he's a mobile healer. Excuse me. And then the last but not least, this is what I kind of like. This model's melee attacks do no damage. On a successful melee attack, it becomes immobilized. The grapple kind of does that, but this is for on that off chance, because I never forget my special abilities, that I forget to say grapple attack 0. I'll at least get some benefit out of hitting somebody. But really the goal is if I'm going offensive, then I'm going to be grappling them. But if for some dumb reason I don't say it, I'll immobilize them. Again, he's another one of these models. If I can play it right, attacking with him against a model, a 3 melee pool model that is exhausted now goes down to 2 because I am defensive and I have no way to... I can't inspire him because he's not friendly faction. I could still do 1-1 and with feint. I'm hope my opponent's probably going to go all in on defense. I have a slight chance of getting that grapple off. But again, I could just... And if I do, so much the better than they're grappled going into the next turn. And then they're going to have to blow actions to get rid of them. Or I'm just healing somebody. I'm just there as support. Or I get rid of them altogether. I get an Earth Kami. Or I get a Fire Kami. Or I get an Air Kami. It all depends. I mean, again, this is just 8 points of ensuring that I have the maximum flexibility for this list. And that's why I like Righteous Warriors. I mean, to be perfectly honest, the other 2 things are nice that are in that list. Resistance 1 is going to make it a pain in the butt for anybody to try to do any kind of key feats against me while I am the inactive player. The channel is cool, but I got Yakuza could do that. But channel leech, it's handy for somebody that's going to become the tip of my spear and may need that extra key at some point in time. So not a bad thing. But really, Righteous Warriors, in my mind, and others can argue with me, is being able to swap the commies at the start of a game.
Yeah.
It's mini order for battle.
Basically.
Very mini order for battle. Very mini.
That's what, like, in Master Enos's list that he did with Beard, you know, that's what he also played at Adepticon. He took a Kami and he only brought a wind, a earth. I don't remember. I don't remember if he had fire. I can't remember if he had 3. I just remember the earth and the wind, and he was telling me that the earth one is his favorite, and it's my personal favorite as well.
I mean, it's the overall best kami.
I love the earth kami.
He's a pain. It's a pain in the
ass. Yeah, but it is nice having the option, because if you're going up against someone that is like heavy control or anything, you can always take the kami of reflection and
throw it back at them.
Yeah, because it's just nice having those options.
Yeah, again, it gives you that flexibility. You could see what your enemy is, you know what your scenario is, and you could throw that kami. Either A, it's doing something proactive for you by going out and doing kami stuff against the enemy, or it is, I don't want to say reactive, but it's a supporter doing kami stuff for your own thing, giving 2 armor, giving fire 1/1+1 melee strength to weapons if you're a fire kami, healing somebody if you're the wind kami moves stuff around, or so lots of different options, lots of different things that can be done with that to help give you the advantage against your opponent. So it just lots of flexibility. So I took 2. So I only had 3 points left for stuff. And I won't bother popping up the cards because Jason already had them. I took Moment of Enlightenment. I probably could have taken 3 1-pointers, but I like Moment of Enlightenment because I have a feeling I'm going to be burning through key like a banshee with this list.
You do.
So having that 4 key
That's
to whip
temple in
around at
general.
some point in time is going to be very, very helpful. And then the Grinto, because why not?
Anything you can do to add additional key in temple is only going to help you, because even though it's like, no, I'm totally going to be responsible with my keys, like, no, they are key hogs as a faction.
You can also use it as a mini rice bale barricade too.
That too.
Yeah, and use it as a rice bale. It can't go in terrain, or it can't go into zones, but
no, but it can block some paths, or at least make people, those charge run lanes.
Provide cover if I get, Kari sitting up there and he's hiding behind the Grinto and then comes out and does Akari things at you, which is
And one other thing, because you brought up Akari again, he does not get to benefit from the Righteous Warriors theme.
Oh, so he can't get the channel?
No, because he's not a monk anymore.
And I think the thing is only monks only.
Yeah, because I kept forgetting about that too, and then I looked back at the theme and I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Thank you for the correction then. I'm so used to, one, the card says monk, so it's throwing me for a loop.
I know.
Right there. And then and just in past experience. So that's cool. Again, and he doesn't have kata, which again, and he doesn't have a way to reroll. So if there's I would have to say if there's a weak link here, it's maybe Master Akari. It just means I'm going to have to I have to be more cognizant of him. I could still load him up with key because Yakuza's got that 8-inch range. Add 3 inches for him to move up, and just drop a boatload on him if I really.
Yeah, you can always give one of your other monks the channel leech and channel to him or whatever.
Exactly.
There's ways around it. It's just
he just can't get it directly, which is fine. Which I'm good with. The resistance one would have been nice, but again, he's a 3-key model, so he's very unlikely someone's going to try to do an opposed key test with him. There's other targets out there that, let's be honest, no one really wants to do opposed key tests against Temple, but there are other targets that are more viable in that list than him or Yakuza.
Right.
You're going to go after the Riku, you're going to go after Seiji, or you're going to go after Yuki. You're going to leave the other ones, to their own devices. So that's my list. I'll be honest. If I ever get the models for this list, I have the starter, so I could do initiation. So I could eventually I'll put that together within the next year and paint it.
You can always borrow some of mine because I have. Most of the reason why I have 2 of a lot of these figures is because I have all of Josh's.
That's true. Yeah.
So I'm not just hoarding all of the Yakuzas and stuff like that. It's because I'm painting and holding them for Josh.
No,
There
he's
you
just that's Cody's retirement policy right there. He's going to own all the Yakuzas and then cash in on them.
Yeah, until the new one comes out.
Well, then you'll own all of those.
Better get on that soon then.
Better get ready to intercept that shipment.
All right, so now we will move to what everyone has obviously been waiting for, because me and Jason, we're just we're temple noobs.
We are entertainment. That's all we are. Is like, here's a cool idea. Let me try this, and then just get destroyed on Discord.
I'll probably get destroyed for my list on Discord.
You're gonna get destroyed for it. You're gonna get destroyed because you have Temple or Bastions of the Mountain. That
So
list right now is just the hot topic.
Well,
Yeah.
Gave it away. Now I gotta go back to share screen. Thanks, Jason.
Nope.
Well, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. So Jason kind of gave it away. Way to let Cody lead into that.
Yeah,
Thanks. That's really
jeez.
good. Nice.
Because I was gonna say it's the theme to lose all your friends.
Yes,
That's true.
Not yes and no.
It depends on how you play it, to be honest.
Yeah. So if you play, I'll get into it later. But so Bastions of the Mountain, or yeah, no, we'll just go with that. I won't use my other name.
BOTM. Sounds like a K-pop boy band. BOTM. Sorry.
I like it. All right. So the first bullet point is once per game, all villagers gain fearless and last stand until the end phase.
That's pretty awesome.
Yay.
Yeah. Especially because the Kawa Norojin are villagers. So yeah.
Let me guess.
that.
The reason why I know everybody's going to hate you for this is because you have no Kawa Norojin in it?
You're a man of culture and decided to be like, I'm going to challenge myself.
Nope.
No.
I
like
definitely took two.
As you should.
So yeah. Second bullet point is actually pretty nice, and that's friendly villager models gain steadfast, considering I want to say 90% of the villagers in the list have a key stat of 1.
Yep.
That is fantastic.
Or they may be cowardly. Who knows?
Yeah, well, I think they all
Which
are
is
unless
weird.
they're near a monk.
Yeah.
And then the last bullet point is the main bullet point, and that's what can potentially cause you to lose friends. And that's each starting phase you gain 1 permitted event trap card that you currently have none of. And it's free. You get 1 of them. You have 3 to pick from. And they're all pretty
awesome.
disgusting.
and you're basically not paying for it. So, you may already include it in your theme. You may already include it in your list, but as long as you use it in that other turn, hey,
Well,
I'm coming back.
I mean, spoilers. When I build a BOTM list, I only take 2 of the 3 traps because why pay for the third one? And I never take the Punji Pit because it's 2 rice and the other ones are all 1 rice. So I just get the Punji Pit for free. And yeah, it's gross.
It is.
So
gross.
Permitted into this theme is villagers, Ronin villagers, animal, kami, Ronin kami, yokai, and Ronin yokai. So there's quite a few things that you can pick from, but as far as temple models go, none of the monks except for Taiki are permitted. But there's quite a bit in the Ronin profiles that you can pick from, and I'm going to go through a couple of those in my list. So we'll start with everybody's favorite model, the Kawa Norojin.
There you go.
So I'm taking 2 of these. It's 28 rice total. Won't go too in depth because I know we've talked about it, a bajillion times in the top 3, but he's solid, 3 melee. He's got brutal, gives the virtue token every turn, gives a villager extra key every turn, and then you get the luck token. That's kind of the main things with the bull. You get 2 of them. They're tireless. It's gross. The next model is my favorite. It was my top 1, and that is Taiki and Naseru. So 2 models, but see if
Keep going. I'll get it up here.
Okay.
I was trying to put your list in, but then I noticed you didn't put Kawa in your list.
Yeah, that was the first message.
Then you changed it.
Yeah, I clicked enter thinking it would drop down, but it didn't. So anyway, I talked quite a bit about Taiki.
Taiki, yes.
He's 10 rice with his little monkey sidekick. It makes the bundle 16 for 2 models. 3 melee pool, key stat 1/6. I combo attack, sweep attack, that's kind of hard to use, even sidestep 1. But he's a good harasser, good objective getter with the simian trickery. And the what was it? Oh no, it's on Naseru's card where it makes all the special attacks and defenses go up 1, I believe it is.
Nezeru?
Yeah.
Let me go there. He's under N for Nez. Naseru.
Yeah, enemy models in base to base with Naseru increase the cost of all key feats, special attacks, and defenses by 1. So don't forget about that, because I did.
Yeah, that's kind of huge.
Yeah, just a bit.
But yeah, that was kind of my main starting point for this list, was losing friends by taking 2 bulls and then losing more friends by adding in simian trickery. So after that, we'll go with the rice farmers. Just to make Greg go back and forth. So I took 2 of these just because my idea, instead of doing snare spam, was how many models can I fit in this list?
Yeah, that's one way of doing it.
So rice farmers, 5 rice, 2 melee, 4 speed, 1/6 for key, range, whatever. They are effectively 5 wounds, so you are basically paying 1 rice per wound for these guys, and that is about all they do.
They do have faith.
Yeah, they do have faith, so they can reduce the cost of all key feats by 1 for target villager model.
It's not a bad thing.
It's not terrible. Might use it, might not. Just depends. I mean, most of your key is probably going to get pumped onto Taiki or the next model, which is Kato. Kato. He is your main villager who's actually a villager heavy hitter.
He's a Ronin, isn't he?
No, he's the one that he's the one that swings around the hose, right?
Yeah.
He swings around the hose.
He swings all the hose. You're almost there. So Kato is a whopping 9 rice. He has 3 melee pool, 4 move, the usual 1/6, 5 wounds. He's got his hoe with powerful attack 1.
That's nice.
And light-footed, which is huge. Really, Kato, like I said, he's kind of the heavy hitter. It doesn't really look like it, but with powerful attack and then his key feats. So with Pathfinder, he can give other models light-footed, which that's huge because he can give it to the bulls.
Great.
And it's target-friendly model, so he can give it to other people if they need it too. But tenacious, so this model gains tough +1 until the end phase. So if you give him a virtue token from the bull, plus you use your tenacious, now Kato's tough 2.
Very nice. Very nice.
And then his unique effect is putting out the hoe field, the tilled field.
So junior high.
No. The plowed field.
Let's
do it right.
Field.
He's going to go. Yeah. Anyways, so you get to put that out, which is nice because it's just difficult clear 0. You put it right in front of a deployment zone or kind of tie up choke point somewhere, just if they have to go through it, and slow them down just a little bit so you can get your billion models up the field.
Yeah.
I mean, how much do people enjoy being choked out? Just need to know. I'm sorry, my inner high schooler right now is just coming out.
God, come on, man. Seriously.
and I've gotten Cody to break his train of thought.
You didn't break my train of thought. I'm trying to not
Add on to
trying to
continue.
sink down to your level, man.
Yes.
No, you're right. I'm sorry, he's a grandmaster. He's a man of higher class.
I don't know about that. But yeah, I really like Kato. He's solid all around. Like I said, he's probably as far as fighting goes, he's probably your second heavy hitter in the list after the Kawa.
There's a big drop off, but it's at least it's something, yeah.
But I mean, he benefits from the Kawa getting the tough and plus throwing out the terrain element. It's nice.
He does a lot for 9 rice, and I thought that it's like, oh, he's not going to really hit that hard. I was sadly mistaken when he wiped some people out without you don't expect it from a 9-point model. Like, yeah, he's got powerful attack and all this other stuff, but the Bastions just do a good job of tiring everything else out. And all of a sudden, then Kato comes around like, yeah, I am going to kill you.
Especially when you activate Last Stand and you're just like, all right, well, I'm boosting in powerful attack.
Yeah.
So after Kato, we have everyone's favorite Fisherman of Rokon.
Oh, I hate that bitch.
I absolutely love this model.
I mean, like, it's a good model, but I absolutely hate that bitch.
So much fun to use.
Great day for fishing.
Yeah. So whopping 7 rice. Terrible stats. 2 melee, 2 ranged, 4 move, which isn't bad. 5 health, 1/6 for their key. They have a fishing pole, which surprisingly doesn't have reach. -1, whoop-dee. They have a ranged attack. They have a bird that goes out and attacks. It's -1, and it can only be used at medium, which is 8 inches. So it's actually pretty
It's not bad.
large. Yeah. It's not terrible. Nice thing with the fishermen is that they're aware and they all have light-footed. They're cowardly, but they get the scout 1/2.
Yeah.
Which is really nice. And then they also have sacrifice villager. So if you can't really shoot anything anymore, well, there you go. You got fodder for Kato or the bull or other people.
Just throw themselves in the traffic. Got it.
Yep. They have Pathfinder. They can give light-footed. And then for their ranged attack, the bird, it doesn't need line of sight.
Oh, here we go.
Yeah, it ignores cover, and it can only make 1 ranged attack per turn. So that's kind of the downside with them.
Doesn't matter. It's a 7-point model that gets a surprise shot.
Yeah, you stick her behind a bamboo patch, and they can't see you. It's a surprise. So that's always nice when you can actually roll range dice and hit something. Because the little tournament that we did at the store that I used her, I think I hit all of 2 models for the entire day.
Well, I mean, again, it's not. You're pitching 2 dice, and yeah, you're
2 looking for 5s at a minimum.
4s if if you're
4s was surprised, yeah. But
and you didn't move because it's not light-footed. Which I'm trying to figure out how that wouldn't be light-footed because it's a bird. It's flying off your shoulder and killing it. You're like a launch pad. You're like a aircraft carrier for it.
It would be nice if it was lightweight or whatever, but
I appreciate them gimping it that much. So
they're only 7 rice, so I can't complain too much. And if she's near Taiki, she loses cowardly. But that's the only monk in the list, and he can go in the list because he's a villager.
She's steadfast, so who cares?
Well, exactly. I'm not worried about that at all.
Yeah.
Let's see. After the fisherman, we have Atsuko.
See where I actually put him in my thing. So he's up this way.
Should be all the way at the beginning.
One would think, but I've been noticing there he is.
So Atsuko,
very angry.
He is.
He had the picture. He's a rice farmer, and he's angry. Damn it!
He is also the Kawanorojan's best friend. So he has a whopping 6 rice.
Yeah.
He's 2s for attack, both melee and ranged. He's got 4 move, 1/6 for key, 5 wounds as per usual. He's got a rice flail at -1. No special attacks or defenses, but he's got cowardly, light-footed, and most importantly, heal of 2.
Wah wah.
And to make things even better, he can also use the Prayer of Purification when he uses the heal trait.
You mean Prayer of Cheatification?
Yes. So instead of healing, he can remove Berserk, Blind, Controlled Disease, Fire, Poison, Spirit Block, or Stun markers from the target.
See, I'm trying to figure out how prayer removes fire. I'm going to make I want to make a feat called Wet Blanket, and it just removes fire tokens.
There you go, Jason. Jason gets to make a card.
That's what my card is going to be, a wet blanket.
Wet blanket.
We just won't tell you what it's wet with.
Come on, guys.
No, it's okay.
Higher brow than
no. This all went downhill when he decided to bring Kato along.
Yeah, I get it.
Yeah. And then unique doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. And he loses cowardly if he's around the one monk that Cody has his list. I hear scuttlebutt is Kawanorojan loses villager but becomes monk.
Ooh.
Oh God!
I don't believe me. I'm totally lying, people.
I'd be okay with that, but then
I wouldn't be okay with that. Then he's in Righteous Warriors and
initiation.
Initiation, giving him student of Master Morita.
Just tramping on fire commies. Putting it out on a fireball.
That would be terrible.
Yeah. So don't use that idea. Don't say, well.
Don't put that in the errata suggestions.
Yeah, don't do that. I was muting myself so I could keep myself from having further stupid ideas.
So the last temple model in the list before we go to Ronin models is the Koji's pack. Only took one. It's just 1 rice monkey, 2 activations. Nothing really to write home about. We've talked about the Koji's pack before, I believe. Just 1s for melee, 5 move, sidestep 0 for his little bite. Aloof, coordinated attack, dodge 1, group insignificant, light-footed. Sacrifice doesn't matter in this list. Monkey scouts, tiny weak. The nice thing with him is he's kind of your anti-ninja tech with giving friendly models within 2 inches 6 cents. You kind of have to bunch it up, but in this list we have 12 models, so
gee, I wonder what's going to be coming 6 cents. Could it be Kawanorojans?
Yes.
So
that's what I did in
there is there's a little monkey, a little healing dude, and 2 big ass bolts.
Yep.
And everything else you like, fuck it, I don't care.
Pretty much. So yeah, the monkey for now. If they nerf it or anything,
well, you're only taking 1, so it's
I know, but
1 or 3. I mean, 3 you're trying to burn on somebody else's activation, so
it's more of just because it's 1 rice.
Yeah,
if they ever increase that or anything, but why not take it if you have the extra? It's 1 rice for 2 activations. It's effectively pass tokens.
I don't.
But I mean, 12 models, so I'm giving other people pass tokens. So
yeah, or if they're ninjas, you're giving them a whole lot of pass tokens.
Yeah, so
pass tokens.
Even though I have anti-ninja tech, ninjas would destroy this list.
Very possibly, yes.
So after that, we have 2 Ronin profiles.
All right, let me get to the Ronin.
So a lot of people...
Let's see if I have them.
That's fine. While you're loading, I didn't. We're looking for Ichiro with an I.
Yeah. And
I don't think you have Ichiro because he's one of the mercenaries, isn't he?
No.
I don't have him. So give me a sec. Keep talking, and I'll pull him up a different way.
Ichiro, he's a 10 rice model. He's a peasant hunter villager model. So by taking him in the list, that gives you access to the animal traps. Otherwise, you only have access to the punji pit and the rope trap. So he's kind of required to get that third set, but not necessarily needed if you don't really care about the animal traps. He's kind of okay. He's got 2 melee, 2 ranged, 4 move, 5 wounds, 1/6, unarmed with -1. He does have a ranged weapon, which is kind of nice, bringing that in on top of the fisherman's ranged weapon. It's a sling, lightweight, reload 1. Usually when I use him, he runs up, shoots something, and then holds a back zone.
Okay.
Kind
of like the hope. That's not bad.
Yeah. Cowardly, light-footed scout, 1/2, so you're most likely picking deployment and stuff.
Picking deployment, and again, so you at least turn 1, you hamstring those, or at least you're on equal footing to those factions that have speed 5 in abundance, like Ito and Dissension.
Yeah, I think this list right now has 4 models with Scout.
Yeah.
It's the 2 monkeys, the fisherman, and Ichiro. So Ichiro, he has Hope, which is target friendly. Well, it's 2 active, target 6 inches. Target friendly villager or peasant model may reroll 1 die from any test or damage roll until the end of the current activation. That's nice.
It's useful. I like that it could affect the damage roll, because that will help our tenacious D man.
Yeah.
You want to, if you're going to be throwing powerful attack, you want to maximize that sucker. So anything that lets you reroll those damage dice, because we know my history with damage dice.
Yeah, I have the same problem.
I suck.
Yeah, I like him. He's fun. Like I said, the main reason why he's in the list is just to get access to those animal traps.
Makes sense.
So then the last Ronin card that we have in the list is a Kami of Wind.
Ooh. I thought about putting him in mind. The Strong West Wind, perhaps?
Strong East.
Oh. I hate that guy.
It's just a Kami stats, 8 rice, 1 attack.
So it's less,
he's got 2 in ranged, but he's got a whopping speed 7. 2 keys, so 2 wounds. Wind Blast is -2. He's got the same Wind Blast as a ranged at 2, 3, 4. And then a bunch of Agile, Cloudwalk, Dodge 1, Durable, Evasive, Insignificant, Kami, Parry 1, Range Defense 2, Soulless. Kind of the usual Kami stuff for the most part. So the thing I like about the Wind Kami is when he suffers wounds after the current activation is resolved, you can place it within 2 inches. So if someone's trying to, say, sidestep attack around him or anything like that, you can kind of, well, sidestep attack I guess doesn't do damage, but
doesn't do damage.
If someone's doing damage trying to get around him, you can kind of reposition the Kami to get back in the way or get it to safety or relocate it so it's out of combat, and then maybe base to base with, let's say, a Kawano Rojin.
Didn't see that coming.
To use one of the starting phase effects. So the one that you wouldn't be using is the first one, which is remove this model from play, and all models within 2 inches may be placed within 2 inches of their current location.
Yeah.
Not saying you can't use that, but
I'm sure
Not optimal.
You don't want to do that turn 1.
No.
Although I've considered it. The one to get in base to base is one model in base to base gains +1 move and light footed. So there's other ways in the list to gain light footed. This is free, so you don't have to spend the key, which is why I put this in the list instead of the Earth Kami, which it was really tough to not take the Earth Kami because I also like giving the bulls armor.
Yeah, I could see that. Because why not? You know, if you're gonna beat a dead horse, you might as well beat it thoroughly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And then with the special for the ranged attack, models hit by this model's ranged attack suffer no damage except you place that target anywhere within 1 inch of its current location, but not in an enemy model zone of control. So it's nice because you can use it to move people out of the way, change their facing, get those surprise attacks, or get them closer. So say you need to get a better angle for a charge lane, anything like that.
Yeah,
it's an option.
Oh yeah. Well, even so, if you really want to screw with something, you can move them up the board. Depending on what happens on turn 1, you move them up the board. Range is an issue with only 2 dice, but if you could hit something and twist them so they can't, they can't run if you twist their back behind something.
Right.
So it's not, you could do some harassment stuff just to keep your enemy from moving up the field as fast as they'd like.
Yeah, keep them from running or charging.
Yeah.
Or set up another surprise attack.
Yeah, so that's kind of why I took him, just to kind of help buff some of those lesser stats of the villagers. So that's the 12 models in the list.
There's a lot of models, man.
It's comparable to Gang War.
It is.
I just didn't want to take the other 2, which you basically get rid of a lot of the stuff in the list, and you take the Ashinaga Tanaga and Hisoka. Ashinaga gives you Believer to the villagers, and Hisoka snares, and that's if you want to lose friends, that's how you play that. If you spam the snares,
which that may be changing in the near future, but
but
until such time,
exactly. But even I thought about adding the Ashinaga in just to get something that was a little bit more punchy. And not take Hisoka, but I was just having fun adding a bunch of models in and seeing kind of what happened.
It's a different way of putting the list together, which is, that's the whole kind of thing of this series that we've kind of evolved it into.
Yeah. Again, it's some things you never see, and horde, and depending on who you're playing against, hordes have a tendency to do okay again because you could out activate someone even with pass tokens,
except ninjas.
And Ryu,
because ninjas would get what 16 pass tokens if they're playing a 4 ninja list.
Yep. That'd be fun. That's pretty gross.
Yeah. That would be a pretty boring game to watch. So
pass.
Yeah. After the 12 models, we do have a couple traps because
why not?
Yeah. So I took the rope traps. Though they are my personal favorite. I know. I'm trying to pull it up too. So the rope trap there's no range to it, which is partially what is a big complaint between that and even snare. Snare has a massive bubble. So with the rope trap, you play when an enemy model without intangible trait declares any action in which it will move. That model must make a size challenge test of 6, and if unsuccessful, the current activation ends, it gains an immobilized marker, and the action is considered resolved. So
you lose your activation, and you're going to waste your activation to get rid of the immobilized marker.
Yes.
That's the rough part. Like I've seen comparable
it's basically
abilities that are not as good as this.
Yeah. If you get it off in 1, it's basically contemplating existence to models.
For 1 rice, and you could take 2 of them.
Yeah. I used it effectively in multiple games at Adepticon, but the key moment was when I tied down a model on the right side of the board, and it just was immobilized like basically the entire game. They didn't wait to remove
trying to
it.
make the
They
test
just
to
kept
get out
trying
of
to
it.
make the test, yeah. And it wasn't like a tiny model or anything. It was a small. It was just the dice went cold. But the reason why Rope Trap is my favorite is because it works on basically everything. So it even works on the Tengu models and stuff like that, where some of the other traps do not. So the second trap, which is in the list, is a Ronin card, I believe.
What is it? It's Animal Trap?
Yeah.
Keep it going. Keep it going. I'll find it.
Well, I'm struggling to find it too.
No, it's not there.
I was gonna say I would be very surprised if Animal Trap was a Ronin card. I think it is a temple card.
Well, it's a temple card,
but you need a specific type of model to use it.
It's just not popping up on the.
Hang on, I'll find it.
It wasn't popping up on the wiki under the events. It's a Risen Sun cycle deck card. So Animal Trap, it's 1 rice. I took 2 of the rope. I'm only taking 1 of the Animal Trap. So when an enemy model without Cloud Walk or Intangible declares any action in which it will move, you can play this. And this one's probably the best one out of the 3 because it's a key challenge 6. And if unsuccessful, the current activation ends, the model gains unstable until the end phase and the action's resolved. Yeah. So the only reason why I say it's the best is just because it's a key challenge. So it has a higher success rate. But it doesn't affect Tengu for the most part because of Cloud Walk, and there's a lot of other models.
Anything that can be intangible, yeah.
Yeah. I like this one. Like I said, I took it because it's 1 rice, and I wasn't going to pay for the Punji Pit trap because I get it for free. So the Punji Pit is not in the list, but like I said, I'm getting it with the theme benefit. Same basic thing. So you play it when an enemy model without Intangible or Cloud Walk declares any action in which it will move. They make a move challenge test of 8.
Ouch.
It's rough,
but it's a move challenge test. So I mean, Ito and Tengu kind of laugh at it.
Yeah. Well, no, mostly Tengu because Ito only has Chio with Cloud Walk.
Yeah, but you're rolling models that have 5 speed, so you're rolling
5 dice.
Rolling 5 dice. Yeah.
So
it's the same thing as like telling Cobra to take that test.
Cobra. Sorry. I've been waiting all night to do that. No,
right. So this trap, if unsuccessful, the current activation ends. The model suffers a success level 2 damage roll, and it's considered the action is considered resolved.
So that's the big FU right there. Not only do you blow an activation when you blow that roll, but hey, you have a chance to take some serious freaking damage.
Yeah, I killed a couple ninjas with this actually, or got pretty close to killing them. So
that's wicked.
Yeah,
you roll high enough, and that's I think on success level 2 you get 4 damage on 12.
No, you get 5 damage on 12.
Well, that killed an Ito model.
So at our little store tournament, the Punji Pit actually was decent, but again, it's 2 rice, so I'm usually taking this as my free trap because I didn't pay for it. And then once I start using up the animal traps or the rope traps, I tend to go for those unless there's something that I need. Right. Like if it's a bunch of slower models like Kirai or something, then I think their move is like 3. So try and kill them off, or at least make them fall prone with the rise test. Yeah, the traps, they're fun for the temple player, not so fun for the opponent.
For anyone else. No, yeah.
I would say if you're just running the traps are annoying. Yes, it sucks that the Bastions list gets 1 free every turn. But if you're just running the traps, it's not as much of a negative. I think the negative play experience really comes from the double
Spamming.
bowl, the traps, and then the snare spam.
It's the whole thing. I mean, it's the whole package, to be
Yeah.
perfectly honest. The snare spam, you know, if it's one thing in there, you learn to deal with it. But when it's the whole package, you're overwhelmed. Is what it is, really.
It's a very well constructed list, and it's really tough to take it down just for how Bastions are for the super optimized list.
In theory, you could take it down. It's just it's very unlikely. I mean, you could try to shoot it to death. You know, a Ryu gunline could possibly have some fun with that.
I would eat through the bowls.
Yeah, you know.
It would, but even when I tried it, I didn't have an extreme gun line. I know when I played.
No, you gotta.
I could take
it if you're gonna do gun line.
Yeah.
Or I know I've took down one of them pretty quick, but it's always the second bolt where it's like it's very difficult to take down both. You can usually do one, but that second one is just like
Want to piss your friends off? Hey, not only do you take the 2 bulls, but then you take the Grey Pilgrim with Spark of Life. Hey, you just killed that bull.
Yeah, but you can't take that in Bastion, so it's okay.
Who cares? Ordered for battle, baby. Who plays themes anymore? I don't know why we do this whole series.
I was like, if it's Bastion, I mean, I would play Bastion theme, but I mean, like, you know, they're just going to add Villager to Grey Pilgrim and the new errata or something.
Probably, yeah, Kawa gets rid of it. It goes to
Grey Pilgrim.
The Villager.
Back to the list real quick, because we still haven't finished it out.
We still haven't finished. Finish it up. Go ahead. Big finish.
We have 2 rice left. We took a Garinto because why not? And we took Rice Bale Barricade. So I'm putting this list has 12 models, 3 traps, getting 1 free every turn, and then you're putting out 3 terrain elements at deployment.
Mm-hmm.
Sweet.
So basically, your opponent's just not going to have a good time if they don't have like Lightfoot or a Cloud Walk.
Basically.
Or flank. Flank might be able to pull some tricks on you.
Yeah, and I mean,
but again, you got the rope traps and whatnot to slow them up, but at least you don't know necessarily where they're going to come out too much.
Like the biggest thing is, you know, you have the bowls. Yeah, the Kato can take a hit. The combo between Taiki and Nizuru, but you can pick off the other stuff. The Rice Farmers, Atsuko, the Koji's Pack, Ichiro. Pretty easily, and then all of a sudden you start, or if you just focus, like you take out the bowl or you take out Taiki or Nisuru so they can't do their shenanigans. You can do stuff like that and whittle it down, but this is just, it's a horde running across the board, and it's going to put a lot of pressure no matter what. It doesn't necessarily do any objectives quick. I mean, right now the Kawa can basically turn idols turn 1, but that's only if there's nothing in the way and they have straight lines.
Right. And so that could always be thrown off by terrain, and one Rice Bale Barricade can rain on its parade.
Yeah.
But you know, again, it's you have a lot that could do. And again, like you said, you're either focusing to take out the big hitters, but that takes time, and that means that draws your attention away from doing scenario. Or you try to get rid of the chafe, and again, it keeps you have to have good dice rolls, you have to do the damage and all the rest of that. And again, it's eating time.
And this list does not do well against control either.
I would say control would mess it up. So Mizuki is going to have a field day with this one. You know, I could control all those farmers, without even 2 farmers a turn. I could do it.
Well, even the bulls. I mean, the bulls they're
2s.
2 keys, but they're controllable.
Mm-hmm. It's a 50-50 shot, so you got a good chance of taking over the bulls.
Well,
yeah, I think
I should do it because I'll have the advantage a little bit.
If you want to focus on killing like the big stuff, then you really need to try to get something at Suko, just so he's not healing 4 wounds a turn.
Yeah.
And that's the tough part.
Kill him first. Kill him with control Kawa and kill him, and then
exactly
the bull field's sad, and
And this list also does not like Toshiro if you get wounds.
Oh yeah, when you get wounds, then you're kind of screwed.
But yeah, I just, like I said, I wanted to come up with something just completely random that wasn't. I mean, yeah, it's got the meta picks, it's got the Kawa, it's got Taiki Nizuru, it's got the traps, but you're very limited. I was actually really struggling to make a Bastions list that wasn't
the super optimized one.
Yeah, because you start adding up these points. Your rice farmers are 5, your fishermen's 7, Atsuko's 6, Kato's 9. You know, there's a couple other options in there. The old guy, I can't remember his name. I think it's like Hisoka or something. I don't know. There's so many.
No, the Hisoka is the Ronin villager.
Here I'll.
I did actually think
Here's
about.
the ones that are available to the faction.
Hisao. I did think about putting him in there, but I didn't really like it that much. I mean, inspiration was nice, but I was kind of like, eh. I did think about putting either Koda or Kyubi in. The two kitsunes.
The kitsune yokais, yeah.
I do like them, but like I said, once I got to about 7 models, I was like, how far can I go?
There you go. Apparently very far.
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, again, it's something. I mean, you could also put Ryokeen in there, although I will say from my standpoint, Ryokeen's not worth it. But we'll see. That it may be better than I think, and I'm just not using him right.
The Kappa, I did look at Kappa as well, just because of the amount of difficult terrain that you're already putting out with the plowed field, and then with this particular list with the rice bale barricade, and even the Garinta, if you're using it more offensively as a blocker rather than trying to get the key from it. But with his Quagmire and stuff, and if you pair him with Ashinaga Tanaga, they both have Quagmire, and you can basically have an entire map of difficult terrain.
Yeah. Camouflage 3 is nothing to sneeze at either, and 4-inch Scout, that gets him up the board a lot.
Yeah. I've used the Kappa once or twice just for funs, and I mean, like he's done one time where he's done really good, the other time where it's like, he didn't do a whole lot, but he's still there.
Yeah.
He's a super situational piece.
All right.
So, all in all, though, it's villagers can be fun. Just if you're playing with new people, I would maybe only take 1 bull.
If you're nice, yes.
Yeah, and maybe add in some more of those Ronin picks and stuff, but
yeah,
it's really tempting not to take both of them for 28 rice.
If you're playing against Jason, you just snare spam both bulls, you know.
Yes, very nice. Stick it to the man. Oh, so that's it. These are our themes again. Are they competitive? Are you going to be taking these Grandmasters? More than likely not. You want to take it to a local tournament or a theme tournament or a narrative tournament? Yeah, maybe. It's got some, some of them are kind of fun. Most of them are just things that we put together because they're for me and Jason's standpoint, we don't really play Temple. We play against it. For me, it was an exercise of how many of my top threes can I put in? And I think I put in all of them. No, I got 2 of them.
No, because you couldn't put the bull.
Yeah, I didn't have them. Oh no, I couldn't put the bull.
Put the bull
Righteous Warriors. I should.
Well, when they nerf it into a monk,
so they're gonna make it into a construct. I don't know, something like that, or Sohi. But then the Master Kari's gone.
Right.
Surfing Akari. That was my goal. Is could I get the models that I'm using in my top 3 into the list? I can. In Righteous Warriors, it works really well. Now, does my concept work? 'Cause I'll say I'm not trying to beat down anybody. Can I? Not really. But I have a solid plan on how to deal with zones, and I have a solid plan on how to deal with objectives. I'll admit my plan to deal with objectives is a hell of a lot more solid than dealing with zones. But you have something there. 3 zones. I could, especially if it's on the diagonal. So that's Ryodo. I could hold my own zone with Yakuza's kind of standing on the edge of it, and Yuki's bouncing between the middle and the back zone to lend defense if somebody gets around with flanking or other. Seji and Riku are in the middle zone, blowing people off the zone and anchoring them down so they can't get in, and possibly supported by the Kami of Evening Dew, and then Akari's just doing Akari crap. So everything. In theory, I think it's a decent idea. In practice, we'll see what happens. So that's been tonight's theme talk. This is my theme talk. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, just like with any of our other episodes, let us know. Give us comments. Tell us what you think. Tell us what your ideas for lists are. Tell us, God, you got that wrong again, Greg. Shut the hell up. Do something else. Play a battle report.
We're working on it.
We're working on that. Eventually we'll get time. We'll get there. Right now, it's just a matter of getting in the right place at the right time. And also still being able to play our friendly local game store, which we haven't done in a couple weeks either. I mean, it's been a really weird couple weeks. So that being said, comment. Tell us what you think. We need to hear it. If you did enjoy this, throw us a thumbs up. Give us a like. We always appreciate those. 2 thumbs up for Cody because he's a Grandmaster. He deserves it.
He deserves that extra
Jason deserves no he deserves no thumbs up.
Can't wait till next year's Grandmaster when I just drop round 103.
That'll be awesome. It'll be against me.
Probably.
And I'm not even playing.
Oh, whatever.
It's just thought. Okay. So give us a thumbs up and of course subscribe. Why should you subscribe? Still haven't mastered that yet. We'll figure it out. But we would appreciate those subscriptions. That way you get notified as soon as we put something up and you don't have to wait for it. So
and follow us on Facebook now because we finally got that working. So now we'll be able to start doing things with community.
I might even put a link into this page showing you where to go to Facebook and join that. We'll probably put some polls up saying, hey, we've talked about a whole bunch of junk. What would you actually like to hear about? Would you like to hear about Greg's thoughts on Kawa no Rojin, uncensored?
Ooh.
Or Cade, uncensored.
or we'll bring Brian on and ask him how he feels about Cade and or what's his name? Little Buddha.
Oh, Rocky.
Oh yeah, get up. We'll have a whole episode of just one of our local members just ranting about how he hates Silver Moon.
You can just bring him on, and we can probably do a 4-hour episode about how much he hates Bastions.
Yeah, you can do that with anybody, to be perfect.
Yeah, I was gonna say that's anybody.
I could pull someone off the street and say, "Hey, what do you think about that?" Oh, I hate Bastions of the Mountain. I don't like their style of music. They're all dancing around and not doing anything. I like rock.
It's Rice Rock.
Bring back Boston. Something like that. I don't know. I'm just making up. It's late. So we're going to wrap things up here. We hope you enjoyed it. And we hope that you'll come back again when we do another one soon. Hopefully, I don't want to tip our hat too much, but we got a busy week. We got a busy week coming up this week, and we got a lot of guests coming on. So hopefully, and not just Grandmaster Cody, but we do love him as a guest. He's part of the Gaming with the Guys family, so he's not really a guest. He's like that uncle that just won't leave.
Yeah, if I wouldn't have won, my title would say Gaming Cody, Gaming Guy Cody, Gaming Guy Cody, Gaming Guy.
I just figured Cody. You would have put like Brewmaster or something.
Cody. Yes, that would be it. So, thanks again. Have a great day or evening, wherever you may be. I am the cream filling of the Bushido Oreo that is this podcast.
Oh, I'm glad you went that direction.
I don't even want to know what direction you were thinking, and that's wrong, and I don't know where you get that from. Don't blame me.
Yeah.